So it's been a beautiful evening, right? Right? Yeah. It's amazing to see people that are not Urubjiruko here. It's so beautiful. I think it's very inspirational to have you guys here, and Maeva, right? Really beautiful to hear that piece to your mom. She was crying. It's so lovely. Like it's amazing. Yeah. Let me just go ahead and start. My name is Shaki. I have three pieces. They're short. I will not bore you. You will go home and you will sleep. It's too cold. So yeah, we all need to go and wear our socks. So the first one is called Quit on People. Can you imagine what it's about? Quitting on people. Duh. Right? I won't say the details. All of them. And they're handing you some one-sided, mediocre bullshit. Quit on people when you love you, but they make you doubt why you should love you. Quit on people who put out all their cards, but when you put out yours, they now start playing. Quit on people who provoke your impatience. Quit on people who don't tell you, who don't affirm you, who don't support your chaos, and put togetherness all the same. Quit on people who want to make you become who they are and not cherish your individuality. Quit on people who you're fighting for but aren't meeting you halfway in the fight. Quit on people who love you less and do the least when it comes to you. Quit on people who make you feel like you should not feel. Quit on people who don't acknowledge when they are hurting you, breaking you instead of building you with their love. Quit on people who leave you hanging mentally, who are not intentional about the way they love you every day in every way. Quit on people who don't foolishly, delicately love you. Quit on people who shrink you further than you have already shrunk yourself. They must raise you and praise you when all is asunder and when all is calm and pretty. Quit on people who don't tell you the things you tell yourself in the mirror just to get by. Quit on people whose building depends on them crushing you. Quit on people who don't understand the beat of your heart when there's silence in the room. Quit on people who make you let go of things you value so that you keep them content. Quit on people who love you to a certain extent, and past that extent, you're trying to scramble for scraps of them that made you feel worthy and deserving of them. Quit on people who bring their pride along behind the closed doors. Quit on people who mold you to perfection. Quit on people who don't see and acknowledge the light in your eyes when you speak about the things you love. Quit on people who are busy. Hey. Quit on people who are making you raise them again. Quit on people who don't comfort you with loving truth. Quit on people who see your shame and guilt and don't try to protect and love you all the same. I beseech you, brethren and sisters, to quit on people, and when the time is right, show them who they quit on before you had to. That is, before you quit on you. Quit on people when you are throwing your all at them and they are handing you some one-sided, mediocre bullshit. That's it. Thank you. Number 2. It's called Poems on Feet. I look at people and see stories. I see stories of triumph. I also see stories of people who remain stuck in a queue waiting on their turn, variations in age, status, meekness, incomplete stories awaiting the day they are raw enough to be told. Stories of people who have wept in hiding but then been revered in plain sight. Poem on feet. A friend of mine calls me that to death. She says it, and it makes me think of the poetry I see in people every single day. You look close enough, and you see a story of beautiful, incomplete, valueless, valuable souls. Genuine liars, prisoners of circumstances which came undone each time they tried to patch them together, facades being gradually unveiled by life's mean reminders. That's number 2. That's very short. And the last one. It's beautiful when you snore. It's beautiful when you smile. It's beautiful when you smile. It's beautiful when you nag. It's beautiful when you wear your smug grin. It's beautiful when you're loud and when you're silent. It's beautiful when you sing like a frog. It's beautiful when you talk. Beautiful when you cringe at the little things I do that get to you. It's beautiful when you're whole. And you're beautiful when you're shattered. When pieces of you are littered and left in many, many hearts who have got no more room for your peace. Read peace. Like PEA. Yeah? It's beautiful when you walk with your head held high, and when it's bowed down in defeat, it's still beautiful. It's beautiful when you laugh, beautiful when you cry. Beautiful when you build your heart tirelessly each day, making room for the next person whom you lend it to. Whom you lend it, sorry. It's beautiful when your lips almost touch mine, but they don't. It's beautiful when you feel things, when you whisper things you feel to me. It's beautiful when you want to hold me around everyone and around no one. It's beautiful when you can't stand me. It's beautiful when you're broke and when you're bowling and shot calling. Hey. It's beautiful when you ask me not to call you beautiful, but Mr. Man, you are beautiful. In all your God-given chocolate glory, you are beautiful. Hey. It's beautiful when you are sane, but even more when you throw it out the window. It's beautiful when you kiss my neck. Beautiful when you're empty and having nothing left to share. Beautiful when you're full and having everything to give. Beautiful when you are showing me your scars. And even more beautiful because you have them. It's beautiful when you are hugging me in despair, and beautiful when it's in a zealous burst of joy, of love, sorry. Beautiful when you speak to me, and more beautiful when you keenly listen to me, even when I'm rambling about nonsense. It's beautiful when you lift me up, when you tell me what I must hear, but also cheer me on for all the things I love. It's beautiful when you soar. Beautiful when you're not in your soaring season. It's beautiful when you cuddle and calm me up into your warmth. It's beautiful when you forget that everything about you is beautiful. It's so beautiful when you fail, but even more beautiful when you discover that that is not your limit. It's beautiful when you build others up, when you live beyond yourself. It's beautiful when you observe the beautifully subtle ways in which beauty is displayed in and around you. Tell her that she is beautiful. Remind him that he is beautiful too. It's beautiful when you're loud and when you're silent. It's beautiful when you sing like a frog. It's beautiful when you talk. Beautiful when you cringe at the little things I do that get to you. It's beautiful when you're whole and when you're beautiful. It's beautiful when you're shattered, when pieces of you are littered and left in many, many hearts who have got no more room for your peace. Read peace. That's it. Thank you.